Hello everyone. Welcome to the DTS Pro Trading webinar. I'm Dr. Neeraj Rohida and I will be happy to help you with the functionality of the software. So this session would be roughly around a 30-minute session where we shall discuss about the different functionalities of the DTS Pro software, and let this be an interactive session. If there are any questions, any doubts in between, please feel free to ask me then and there, or we can also have some discussions at the end of the session. So typically, I would like to divide this session into two parts, where the entire software we discuss about the patient motivational part, and the second would be the treatment planning or the digital planning part, as we roughly say. So herein I upload a patient's extraoral image. We can carry out basic edits here. Some points about shooting an image which I want to emphasize right now is, it doesn't matter whether we are using an SLR camera or whether we are using the mobile phone to shoot the image. For example, this image has been shot using a mobile phone. The only prerequisite that we always suggest and request is to have an interincisal space. So whenever you are simulating, say for example, if you want to simulate only for the upper jaw, you can individually simulate the upper jaw without having to touch the lower teeth or without having an overlap with the lower teeth, right? So I repeat here, the only prerequisite that we suggest is have an open mouth position. So how do we generally do this? One clinical tip is to ask the patient to say A and then smile wide. The moment the patient says A and smiles, there is automatically a little interincisal space that you will get. So as you can see, once I upload the image, the software is auto detecting the face. If your system doesn't have a graphics card, this step you will have to do manually. But otherwise, the software does the automatic detection of the lip line, the interpupillar line, and the midline. So it has done a reasonable job. You want to edit the points, you can always do that. But I am satisfied with this, so I will just go to the next step. Again, as you can see, my interpupillar line has been marked by the software. The midline has been marked. So I am satisfied with that. I will straight away go to the next step. Okay. So now in this part, I will first be dealing about the patient motivational part. Now here, instant smiles is one such feature of the software which you can use for most of your cases for your very quick patient motivational mockups. So the patient walks into the office, you take a picture, and by the time he leaves, at least you show him something, is what the motivational part is all about. So what I'm doing is, as you can see, the software has overlaid a template on the patient's smile. I am able to move these two control points, the green and the blue points, and get the best possible fit there. There are two controls on top. The first control, that is the template opacity, where you can change the transparency of the entire template so that you are able to see the underlying teeth clearly when you make it a little transparent and adjust it to the best possible way. And the second is background opacity. Now here with the background opacity, you can either make the background completely opaque. I request participants to please keep their mic off. Yeah, thank you. Right. So with the other control, the background opacity, you can either make the background completely opaque or you can let the surrounding tissues be seen. Right. So once you are satisfied with the position, you can navigate through different templates and choose the design that you want to. You can even go to show all and you can choose the template that you want. For now, I am good with oval number 1. Once that is done, you go to preview. Here you can adjust the shade. So here, for example, I feel it is a little more bright, so I will reduce the brightness a bit. There is lip smoothness. I will always like to keep the lip smoothness high so that the template blends in with the underlying image. You can even change the gum texture. So if you move this to the right, the gums become a little orangish, and if you move to the left, they become a little pinkish. So as you can see with these controls, I would always like to keep the template opacity, say around 85 to 90. There it is. So you have got your instant simulation for the patient to understand. So for example, you can see this patient is a patient for orthodontic treatment. So one of the commonest applications for instant smiles is patients who have got crowding, multiple missing teeth, a full mouth case, for example, when you want to increase the visibility of teeth, no teeth show, or orthodontic cases. Instant smiles helps you achieve very quick and fast simulations, right? You can always, of course, play for the patient in the form of a before-after simulation there. So that is about instant smiles. So this is the, as we say, the motivational mock-up for the patient. Let me upload another image here in which we shall go into a little more about smile design, veneers, and see the other tools of the software as well. So here again, I crop the image a bit. Again, the software, the AI, artificial intelligence, facial recognition built in the software will detect the smile line, the interpupillar line, and the midline. Would roughly take around 8 to 10 seconds depending upon the graphics processor that is there in your system. It is done. So I will go to the next step. Let me see if it is reasonably okay. The only criteria again when you are having marking the lip line is all the part of the teeth should be completely enclosed within the smile area. So we don't want a smile area, for example, where a part of the tooth is getting out of the selection. It has to be completely covering the entire part of the dental structure, right? Again, the interpupillar line reasonably accurate. The midline is good too, so I'm happy. And we go to the next step. Now, we are on the first screen, that is smile editing tools. Two very easy to use and very handy tools here are, there is a whitening tool. So for your patients who need bleaching, you can just use the whitening tool. So plus 20 is approximately 2 shades of clinical whitening. Plus 30 is approximately 3 shades of clinical whitening, so on and so forth. So I can just propose some whitening, maybe increase the brightness a bit, and my whitening simulation is done. So for patients who want to undergo bleaching, you can do a very quick whitening simulation there. Let me come back and use some other tools. So one is called as the extend tool. Now with the extend tool, you can simulate. I'm just left clicking and pressing. Left click the mouse, hold the left click and just move the direction in which you want the gums to move. So as you can see, I can use the extend tool to simulate crown lengthening, gingival reshaping, a little bit of enameloplasty, some composite repairs. Now, because not every case with aesthetic needs will be a full mouth case or a full mouth veneer case. There will be simple cases who can be helped with a little bit of whitening, some amount of composite buildup. And the extend tool is a very handy tool which can propose such changes in very short, quick time. So there it is. That's the preview for the patient. I can even show it in the form of a single picture and play. So that is where we were. and this is what we propose for the patient. So as we know, for any additive cases, we can always do intraoral mock-ups, chair-side mock-ups and show to patient. But whenever there is any reduction or whenever there are cases which need irreversible change, for example, crown lengthening or some part of cutting of the tooth structure, the only way we can show the patient proposed changes is using simulations, right? So for example, now this lateral incisor, I can just select a part of that, right click, transform, just intrude it a bit. So you can also show some amount of tooth reduction there, right? So these are selection tools and editing tools, and then you have the extend tool. So I will undo all the changes. Let us now go into a little more depth and plan veneers for this patient. We will also see a little bit about digital smile design here. I will not be talking about the principles of smile design here. I will specifically be talking about how you can use the software to plan your cases, right? So we are in the veneers screen. So once you are in the veneers screen, you can insert the exact number of veneers that you propose to do for the patient. Or if I navigate on the name, you see there are names on top written there, oval, triangular. If I navigate on the name, it'll automatically insert all 8, and then you can add more if you want to, or even delete as needed. So you can choose from the different basic shapes of templates, and you can even insert the lower ones as needed. For now, I want to insert oval 8 veneers for this patient. Now, the moment I insert, I get this control where there are 3 points. I can just click on them and move them up and down according to the smile curve. So a gross fit is what I'm looking at here. This will move my entire set of veneers up and down, and both these control points will make them, will control the curve of the veneers. You will not get a 100% fit here, but just get a gross fit is what we want at this stage. And if I just click anywhere outside, that control goes. If you want that control back again, just right click inside the veneers and press align. So you will get that control back. Right? So that is my gross positioning. Now you can first select all, and then maybe just get a reasonably good height and width for these veneers. So that is, I have selected all and done a gross height and width adjustment. Now you can individually click on these veneers. So here I'm going into a little bit of details about digital smile design. So see, as far as patient motivational mock-up was concerned, we just used the instant smiles, showed it to the patient, and convinced him to get some cosmetic corrections to their smile, finished there. But now we are talking a little bit about digital planning, lab communication. So here I want to be a little more specific, because whatever I will be planning, I will be sending it to my lab to replicate it in their 3D design. So here again, now you can again control this size, shape of each and every veneer. If you want to make a single veneer narrower, you can just right click, choose resize, and then you can resize it, reshape it, or even rotate it. I want to make sure that I will cover the entire, and I don't want to do any changes with the gingival level there. So I want to limit it to the way it is. Right? Even here, I would maybe do a little bit of crown lengthening. So I want, that is where my crown is. You want to make the veneers a little more triangular, oval, it is up to you. And you can even propose different designs to the patient here. So maybe if you want to keep the embrasures a little deep, a little shallow, if it is a male patient, you want to have the distal edge, say a little more defined, or if it's a female patient, you could have a little more rounded distal edge. So these are all shapes which can be decided on a digital planning and then communicated with the lab. Right. So that's my gross design. Now, if you see some part of the tooth structure, original tooth structure is extending outside the veneer outline. And it will be seen once you insert the texture. As you can see, a part of the tooth structure is visible here. So how do I control that? Now, either I can make my veneer a little longer to cover that. But if that is not the case which I want, say for example, clinically I am looking at cutting that part of tooth structure. So how can I control that? Let me just show you very quickly. I will press apply. I will go to the first screen again, the smile editing tools. Here you will now see a checkbox on top called as templates, and you can just use the extend tool like an eraser to just cover that part of the tooth structure. So anything that is extending outside the templates, you can use it to cover. One more reason why you should have a little gap between upper and lower teeth, so that you can use this eraser function of extend tool. If imagine the upper and lower teeth would have been in bite, it would have been difficult for me to erase this part extending outside the tooth structure. I hope that point is clear. Now come back to veneers and see it is no longer seen outside because we have already controlled it. So that's an additional. So if you add a point by mistake, by left clicking, you can just right click over it to delete that point in case you have added a point by mistake. Right? There are all tips which are given here on the tips section. Each screen has a small video. Plus there are of course detailed tutorials available on the website as well, but every screen has got a very quick access video which highlights the important points of that screen. Right? Once we are done with the design, let me first show you how to insert textures, and at the end I will talk about a little bit of DST planning. So let me go to the texture screen now. Now, when I want to insert texture, you can choose texture from the library, press apply, and let me come to the preview screen. You can do some adjustments with shade, shape, the way you want to. Suppose I want to make this a little brighter. You want to make these a little yellow, which is closer to her original tooth color, or if you want to keep them white, you can definitely decide on that. Lip smoothness, again, I want my veneer outlines to be very smooth so that they blend in with the underlying tooth. And my favorite tool always is to reduce the opacity a bit so that it blends in with the underlying image. Look at that simulation. So you can present patient multiple treatment options, say only whitening, whitening with little bit of crown lengthening, whitening with little bit of crown lengthening and enameloplasty, or complete veneers. So then also it becomes very clear with visual impact of different treatment options there, right? If you want to say, I am still feeling that my centrals are, I could do with slightly longer centrals because the smile still appears a little flat there. So what I'll do is that I will select both the centrals. If you want to select multiple veneers, I repeat, if you want to select multiple veneers, just left click, hold the control key on the keyboard and press the second one that you want to select. And then only these two I want to make it slightly long. Right, so I have slightly lengthened my central incisors there. Apply, texture, preview. So slightly longer incisor. So you can just play with the controls, play with the different lengths of teeth there. The patient then sort of becomes a part of the treatment planning process. If you want to put texture number 2, which is a more natural texture. You can choose texture number 2, apply, go to preview. Of course, the teeth now look a little dull, but you can always adjust the brightness, make them a little whiter if you want to. Contrast can be slightly less. Lip smoothness is sufficient. And you can slightly reduce the opacity. So that's a simulation ready for visualization for the patient. One last way of inserting texture is sometimes the photograph quality may be such that not all the textures will suit the patient from the library. So in that case, we can use the option called as self texture. Here we will insert texture tooth by tooth. Oh, I find there is some discrepancy in the length of these two teeth. So just let me very quickly modify it first. I want this to be equal. That is it. Looks better. Come back to texture, self texture. Now here in this scenario, we will be inserting texture tooth by tooth. So I just first select the central incisor, for example, by clicking on it, and just select the area from which I want to insert texture and press apply. So you see the color, the texture from that area is inserted in this veneer. Never do apply all, because then what happens is it inserts the same sort of color in all the veneers. Doesn't look aesthetically very pleasing, because every tooth has got its own characterization, a little bit of flashlight effects. So it is always better to do it tooth by tooth. So I am doing tooth by tooth here. If I don't like the color of the canine, if it is too dull, I can probably still choose the same from my lateral incisor or from any other adjacent tooth. Coming to the other side, the other central incisor. Apply. So now this is something which detailed planning you will not do for each and every case. You will specifically limit to cases who are motivated enough, where you want to plan the treatment, where you want to communicate it to the lab, where the patient wants to actually see. So you might not do this for each and every patient. Having said that, it doesn't, once you know the hang of the software, it doesn't take you very long to even complete the digital planning. It has taken me approximately around 5 to 10 minutes. Is something which we can definitely, because the digital planning also gives us a lot of idea about the embrasures, the contacts, the amount of tooth reduction that may be needed clinically. So this is very important when you are planning the case even before starting it, right? So if you see, once I click on the veneer, that margin comes up. So in order to take it down, I will start clicking from the distal 1, 2, 3, 4 and stop at the midline. Same on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that the margins are hidden properly. And that's my simulation. I have used the patient's own natural tooth shape. Of course, you can whiten it a bit if needed. Maybe make it slightly less bright, and always make it slightly transparent to give that more natural simulation effect, right? So that's a planning for 8 veneers for this patient. We have shown to the patient. Now, how do you communicate this to the lab? So let me just very quickly come back and go to DSD tools. So in the veneer section itself, you have a button called as planning window. I'm repeating here, I'm not going to talk about details of aesthetic dentistry here. I'm just limiting my talk to how do you use these tools, right? So you can check the smile curve first. So when you are planning your veneers, what I'm only doing is I'm aligning this curve parallel to my smile curve. So this helps me in positioning my teeth when I'm planning. So for example, if that is my smile curve, possibly I can take my centrals touching there. So my centrals might end there. You might even want to get your laterals there. So this is how this gives you a general idea of how you can plan your case digitally there. So that's your first tool. That's a smile curve. Even this lateral, for example, I can end touching to the smile curve, right? That's my first two. Second is proportion guide, which is a golden proportion ratio. So this can just help you to check if the width of your teeth. Now, this is a tool which is very useful whenever there is a multiple diastema case. So where you want to check if you want to increase the width of the centrals or maybe divide it on the laterals, you can just use the scale to see the width of the teeth. Third is the proportion rectangle. This gives you the height to width ratio. So typically most of us would want the height width ratio to be roughly around 70%. So this is how the proportion rectangle can be used. Now you can communicate everything to the lab and you can measure it as well. How do you measure it? So you first calibrate the software. When I calibrate the software, I will tell the software distance between two fixed points, the actual distance between two fixed points. Say, for example, I am just measuring the width of the central incisors in the patient's mouth. For example, if it is 20 millimeters, now my software is calibrated. Now you can go to the measuring tool and you can just use. So your lab knows exactly how much of the length to increase, how much of the crown lengthening to be done. So whenever they are doing the 3D design, all these measurements then prove useful. So you can use the measuring tool and measure whatever the changes that you have done, right? So this is how you can use our DST protocol here. From here, you can export this plan templates along with the image. This goes to the lab and the lab then use these outlines to do the complete 3D designing. I hope this part is clear, and I will be talking about, let me see if I have, yes, I think we are almost there. Let me put one last image here. So again, a simple case, as far as simulation is concerned, just show some amount of crown lengthening, a little bit of cant correction with simple extend tool. So again, as you can see, whenever the image is shot, because my gingiva is well visible, is completely visible, I don't need an additional intraoral image here. So my smile line is detected, my midline is detected, right? I can just use the extend tool to carry out a little bit of simulation there. Some amount of whitening. And we are done. Right? So that was about the basics, the overview of the software, the instant smiles. Now to use the smile editing tools, veneers, crowns, and of course, some digital planning. Now, as far as braces are concerned, these are just patient education templates, which can be used to show them different types of brackets. You can, of course, edit the position of each and every bracket. You can remove brackets as you want to, but by and large, I will just go to preview and I can show patients how different options of braces are going to look on their smile. You can again control the brightness of each and every bracket. The ceramic ones, the clear ceramic ones, self-ligating ones, ceramic self-ligating ones. So these are again educational tools for the patient to understand how different bracket options are going to look on their smile. Right. Somebody has asked me, please explain how do you use the mirror tool? Sure, I will do that right away. So we are coming to the end of the functionality session here. So please, you may put across your questions. So let me use a mirror tool here. As you can see, the patient's right lateral incisor is asymmetric as compared to the patient's left. So what I can do is that I can mirror this part. and paste it here. How do you mirror? I'll go to the mirror tool. I will choose the size of the brush, which is approximately 1 tooth width. So I can slightly increase the size around that. Okay. Now I am keeping the edge of the brush at the midline. As you can see, I will slightly reduce the size. Press Alt key and left click. I repeat, press Alt, ALT, Alt key and left click and leave it. Now I will just go to the other side and start clicking. As you can see, the patient's right side is mirrored on the patient's left. You can go ahead and even mirror it further, but I don't want to extend it too much. That is it. Good enough for me. I repeat, let me show this whole thing to you. You can undo one step or you can revert the whole thing back again. I go to the mirror tool, keep the size of the brush approximately 1 tooth width. Make sure that the selection is touching the midline, for example. So if you want to only replicate the lateral and not the central, you can keep it here. So I just want to replicate the lateral, mirror the lateral. See where is the edge of my selection, almost touching the mesial edge. Alt and just take this up. So Alt and left click. Sorry. Alt and left click. I go to the other side and just start clicking. So see, it has only mirrored the lateral incisor and my central remains the same. I hope this point is clear how to use the mirror tool. Just to repeat, there is a very similar video here which demonstrates how to use the mirror tool. So mirror tool can specifically be used when one side is normal, the other side has got, say, for example, a discolored tooth, a missing tooth, an asymmetric tooth. So you can use mirror tool in such cases. I hope that point is clear. Do we have any other questions?